Radio Shack. Here it is. The Tandy 1000 SL computer system. IBM PC compatible and sale price for under $9.99. Save $200.
Comes complete with color monitor and built-in DeskMate software.
Word processing, graphics, worksheet.
I've never seen one so easy to use.
Greetings. Need directions back to your planet?
This technology is more advanced than we thought.
And we saved $200.
Beam it up.
Save $200 on the Tandy 1000 SL system. Less than $999 only at Radio Shack.
I wanted a Tandy when I was in high school. It's Wednesday again. It's Wednesday night mouse party. Good evening, everyone. Tonight we've got G-Webs with us. How's it going, G-Webs?
Good. Thanks for the link. Thanks for hosting. I had a Tandy when I was a little kid.
Really?
Well, not a little kid, but yeah, it was somebody bought it. It was one of their first computers, I think. And then I got it as a hand-me-down. At some point, those things went pretty quick from 0 to 0. So I got it, once it was on its way down.
Yeah.
But it was always capable. I really liked it. It was a pretty fun computer to play on. I thought it was color.
Yeah, I watched the video on it on YouTube about the Tandy 1000 and the Tandy 2000.
I think it was a 386 or something, so it had like some kind of Windows or something. So I remember it being just so much easier to deal with than everything else was like you have to learn a basic or something. You have to really program it.
You kind of sound like you're in a fishbowl. G-Webs.
He's underwater talking to us from a can.
Is that better?
Way better.
Yeah, my thing reset. I don't know why. It reset my camera too whenever I joined. It was just in one, so I don't know.
Yeah, that's what they were saying was the Tandys, like the graphics were for the time, were pretty good the way they worked them. Yeah.
What years is this?
Like 89.
I was like no, way before that, I think.
80. Well, it was 80s.
But I remember that, yeah, you could sit down and like make a picture on a Tandy where every other computer was black and white with like a cursor, like War Games. And the best you could do is make like a bunch of asterisks in a row or something and kind of look like a white line. On a Tandy, you had like, like a light bright. You could go in there and change all the different colors and cursors and stuff. It wasn't like a mouse, I don't think. Or if it was crude, but you could kind of paint on there. You could play with stuff, and then it's not like you could print it because you could only print in black and white, but it would print with like stars and squares and dots. Yeah. Like it printed in a weird way that it had shading and stuff.
Yeah, and it was the first computer with a integrated chipset, so you didn't have to use up your expansion slots.
Oh, interesting. I remember you had a cassette tape to load programs onto it, but something about it was less hassle. Like, the other ones, maybe you had to load a cassette and then put something into RAM and then do something and then load another cassette I don't remember. But I remember the Tandy was a little bit easier. And I think there was a modem. We didn't have one, but I think there was a modem for those.
But I don't know, it's interesting if you're curious about computer stuff. It's kind of neat to look at the history there.
And then the company's history is way cool too. Like the company's history, I didn't know anything about that at the time, but going back and watching the documentaries, like those companies were cool, I thought.
Yeah, the one I watched was I don't know. I had never watched anything from him, but it looked like a tech channel. So he was just mainly talking about the hardware and the software.
Is it like a TV show from back in the day?
No, it was. I don't even remember what the channel is, but I saw he had like 1.2 million subscribers. So,
a YouTube channel where they talk about old tech. Yeah, those are just as interesting because they've already done the research and tell you all the interesting little.
He had said
stuff.
He worked for the company that Tandy was bought by. So he
knew insider stuff too. Then,
yeah, he did. He said he did tech support for the Tandy when his company bought it, because they had promised to cover the
back when tech support was actual help
in the U.S.
Did y'all have fond memories of Radio Shack? Was that a store you often visited?
Yeah. As a kid, you go get your free battery once a month or with your little card.
I always bought the wrong shit there. Then I have to go back, get something different.
As an adult, I would go there for little computer parts, or for chips or resistors, LEDs and stuff, for whatever little project I was making. It was always funny because kid working there would ask if he could help me, and then I'd tell him exactly what I wanted, a certain chip, and I'd say it by number because I knew they wouldn't know what I was talking about, but I'd know where to go, in the drawers. And then at least the local ones all became about cell phones. So if you were buying something or needed help, you'd have to wait, like 15 minutes while they're helping somebody buy minutes for their cell phones. I think that's part of what really hurt their business, at least around here. Where'd you pick those up at?
You're muted.
Oh, I was talking this whole time. So you didn't hear any of that? I said I've got a 94, a 95, a 98, and a 99 catalog sitting here. And then this Christmas one that came out. I don't see a date on it. Oh, 2004. But this one is from 1994. And I think you said, where did I get these? I got these from the Radio Shack, I'm sure.
Oh, so you hung on to them that long?
Yeah, they've just been sitting here with my radio stuff. I was thinking about putting them on eBay. So here's I must have used a coupon out of here for something. There's the Tandy. That's a later Tandy. It's got speakers and stuff. I remember this stuff being the coolest thing. I mean, this is 90s already, but in the 80s, I remember drooling over those crazy calculators, like this kind of thing for no reason. I don't know why I wanted one so bad. Probably because of Inspector Gadget. So in the 90s, this, I think, was the most geek of all the Radio Shack catalogs because you had all of this stuff still in it. Right before it went in, like I think you were just saying about where it went into like all remote control cars and cell phones and stuff. You still had CBs, tons of CBs. Look how many CBs, holy moly. And then phone stuff was nuts. These little tiny TV things. And then there's probably computer stuff at the end here.
When I was in high school, kind of like my friend found, I forget if he was up in Seattle, he found in a phone booth kind of looked like that calculator, or that you were
A dialer? A dialer?
It was a translator. So it would translate to Japanese. You could type in English and it would translate it for you.
Okay, I thought you've seen the dialers, right? You just this little
Yeah.
button thing, and you just have like somebody's phone number in there. You could go click, and it would make the tones into a dialed phone, into a phone. So that's insane. I would love to have a translator.
And that would have been, like 87, 88.
So that's my oldest one, and then this 99 one. Let's see how much they change in 5 years. Well, I guess they still have a bunch of batteries and electronic stuff, but way more toys and stuff right off the bat. Computer game stuff.
Gary said we had a Radio Shack and a barber in the same building, connected by a doorway. Same guy ran both. His wife was in the store while he cut hair. He spent a lot of time in that little shop.
That's pretty cool. I knew a guy that had a place called Bite Shack, and he got sued by Radio Shack because it was too close to the name, and he was like a computer repair place in Arizona. So I imagine they had some kind of an interesting franchise thing if they would let. Oh, this was in the height of, remember caller ID was such a big deal?
Yeah.
And then like, I don't want to get a whole phone. I'll just get the caller ID thing for $50. I'm not going to, them kids ain't going to call me no more. I'm going to get that telemarketer to quit calling me. I'm going to see what their ID number is when they call.
When I was looking today, when I was looking for old commercials, I typed in YouTube old commercial, and it showed me commercials from the 80s. And my first thought was, well, that's the 80s. It's not that old. And then I realized, oh, God, it is that old.
Yeah. Do you see what I posted in Gilded about the Red Hot Chili Peppers? They've been together for 41 years now.
Yeah, that's what, because
Yikes.
Last week or the week before, everybody's been talking about Nirvana, and that they will classify as
classic.
Yeah, because they're 30 years.
So we're humans. Are we classics now? When do we get to oldies?
I don't know. I think I'm moving towards antique now. Yeah, the first time I ever heard of Red Hot Chili Peppers was from the movie Tough Guys. Who was in that?
Bruce Banner?
No. Kirk Douglas and Burt Lancaster were the two main characters. They play old mobsters.
Yeah, they're like get out of jail and they're super old.
Yeah. That was from 86. That was the first time I heard of them, because Kirk Douglas goes with a younger girl, goes to a concert. It's the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Let's see who was out there. DJ Play Nice was out there earlier. He's probably out
He's still
around.
here.
Is he here?
Hooping it up.
Oh, I missed it. Haven't been looking at the chat. Sorry, everybody. Woods was out there. Gizzard Gary. Bjorn. Roy Munson. Faride. The goddamn bacon. Yeah, there's DJ. He's out there weeing it up, having a nice wee. Wood said 88, he met Kurt Cobain in a little bar. His buddy knew him from Aberdeen. And Kurt is the weirdest dude I ever met.
Aberdeen, you ever been there?
Yes. Yeah.
That is one sad town.
Every time I go to Ocean Shores, I have to drive through Aberdeen.
Ocean Shores is not that sad. It's pretty nice. Have you ever been to the Green Lantern Tavern?
No.
I'm not allowed back there.
The realtor
I did get a hat, though.
The realtor that sold us this house sold Kurt Cobain's mother's house in Olympia. Which I think is the house that they stayed at when they were here. I'm guessing that's the same house. DJ said the last 2 times I've heard Red Hot Chili Peppers. How do you pronounce his name? Kiedis?
No idea.
Lead singer. Voice was thrashed. So we had a poll this week. Let me call that up. Let me find the right screen. There we go.
Is it still legal to attach a poll to your channel?
Well, we're doing it anyways. What is the best type of chocolate bar? Milk chocolate, dark chocolate, white chocolate, or chocolate bars make diabetes hurt? Milk chocolate won, which I was pretty sure it would, because that's probably the most popular in the U.S. It's milk chocolate. Dark chocolate was second. White chocolate was third, and my diabetes, I think, had 1 vote. Looks like.
Dark chocolate is like you can drinking coffee black, and then milk chocolate is like people that put cream and sugar in their coffee. So it's most people are going to put cream and sugar in.
Dark chocolate is where it's at. I'm sorry.
Yeah, if you like milk chocolate, you don't really like chocolate. You like sugar.
Yeah,
no, exactly.
Yeah.
You like chocolate flavored candy, where dark chocolate is I like eating dark chocolate, and I like it a little bit sweeter than just eating dirt, because normally chocolate tastes like dirt.
Wood said he voted diabetics.
So did I.
Gary said dark chocolate. Fuck the world. Or probably for the win. I will post. Let me get the copy. Paste. So if you haven't voted, here's a link for the community page, so you can go over there and vote. Let's take a look at the comments. DJ said, of course, the darker the chocolate, the sweeter the darker the berry, the sweeter the chocolate, dark chocolate. Mike said, I wonder what Forrest Gump would pick. Karen Woodson, dark chocolate has more cocoa, which has more health benefits. Plus, it's semi-sweet. You can eat more without feeling like you're cheating, because anything healthy you can eat more of, right? So I said, yes, indeed. Sergeant Joe
100%.
Smith. What was that?
100%.
Sergeant Joe Smith said, I said white chocolate because I'm a mega racist white supreme pizza. And G-Web says, now we're talking.
So white chocolate is essentially just the fat and sugar, right? Like,
yeah,
I don't think I ever really liked it. Sometimes they put peppermint in it, and I'm like, all right, I'll eat it. But I don't think I've ever just liked eating white chocolate.
I'm not a fan of white chocolate because it's waxy.
Yeah, it's like always, it's just like, oh, this is all the stuff I don't like about some chocolate.
Is it better than no chocolate?
No, because it's different. That's what I'm saying. I think it's more like a different kind of candy or something.
It's okay if it's in like a cookie, where they use like a white chocolate chip in a cookie with macadamia nuts. The white chocolate macadamia nut cookies aren't bad, but I couldn't eat like a white chocolate bar.
Yeah.
I'm with you, but I'll still leave a white chocolate chip cookie behind. Like I don't have to eat it.
I leave no cookie behind.
Oh, really? What about an anise cookie? Ever eat an anise cookie?
No, that probably would not be pleasant.
Yeah, they look good. Like they look kind of interesting because I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. They're like a cookie that when they cook, they kind of bubble over and harden and have look like kind of like a flat mushroom or something. They have like an interesting look to them. And you're like, oh, it's a cookie. It's on a tray of cookies. I'm going to eat it. And then it tastes like licorice. It's white. And then you eat it and it tastes like licorice. And then they're like, oh, those are anise cookies. They're amazing. Like, no, they're not.
Wood's white chocolate is a 9 millimeter of chocolate. You can, but why? There are better options. DJ Play Nice said, no, white chocolate flat sucks. And Sergeant Joe Smith said Supreme Pizza is slang for supremacist on YouTube that kids use nowadays. That's one I hadn't heard before. All these kids with their weird lingos.
Well, they got to be able to say stuff that grandparents don't know what they're saying. Their parents don't know what they're saying. So what'd you think of that music bracket? Did you listen to the music bracket?
Barbecues?
Yeah.
I did not.
I did. I was there making fun of it.
So my question is that going to adjust tonight's bracket at all?
That will have no effect on tonight's bracket.
Oh, that's good to hear.
Yeah, most of those, there was only like a couple of those bands even that I
heard Alien Ant Farm, and then I looked up a bunch of them, and I've heard the songs before, but you could have gave me $100 and I wouldn't have ever known the artist or the title of the songs.
Yeah, most of the songs I didn't know, and the bands I knew maybe one or two more than the songs, but most of it, I didn't know.
And most of the videos I looked up were like some kind of weird nightmare dream that somebody put on video, like very well. The videos look great, but they're like the grossest nightmare weird shit that I guess they're not emo, but they're not Metallica. They're not what I'm used to hearing as far as like metal or whatever they call heavy metal kind of music.
Wood said it was the worst bracket of comparing terrible music.
It would have been worse if I helped.
Well, you know that music? Oh, you don't even know what it was. It was all the
Exactly.
Early 90s. I think it's emo music.
It's like 90s, 2000
angst music or like angry crying music.
I don't
I'm
even
check it out, see if I know these bands.
I don't remember what songs there were.
I've heard the songs. Like some of them are even in commercials and things nowadays because they're that old already. But
Goddamn Bacon said, fun fact, white chocolate isn't actually chocolate. I forget the full list of ingredients, but I think it's made with hydrogenated fat, which is like turbo, not good for you. Yeah, there's no cacao in white chocolate.
There's cacao butter in white chocolate.
Is there?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like the fat from the cocoa?
It's the fat, yeah.
That's how they call it chocolate, I suppose. And that's why it's not just like, I don't know, a hydrogenated bar or something.
DJ saying just metal by any other name, all pretty much metal. There wasn't much metal about that.
I don't cry that much in metal.
Roy Munson said, I thought it was new metal. To me, it sounded like soft metal.
I have a question that's chocolate adjacent related. If you were to eat a chocolate covered graham cracker, is that a cookie?
Yes.
Because they come in a package like a cookie.
Ew.
But it's even labeled fudge covered graham cracker. But they look like a bunch of Oreos or something in a package.
If they're round,
I'd
say yes.
See, that's what I'm thinking too.
If it was
that'd be official.
If it was the standard graham cracker,
you know what they are? They're just like a Thin Mint, except it's a graham cracker in there and there's no mint.
If it was a standard size graham cracker with chocolate on it, I would say no. I would just say it was a chocolate covered graham cracker. What up, DJ?
Uh-oh.
Started to talk about music, and I was part of that that poll, the bracket that went on earlier today. So I thought I'd jump in, say hey. Don't have much to say about chocolate except white chocolate sucks.
Yeah, I agree. I just lost my thought.
So here's another question that's chocolate adjacent. Is a can of Hershey's chocolate syrup, is that chocolate?
I would say it is chocolate, whether it's, technically chocolate flavored. I would just use the general term chocolate syrup.
I mean, I don't have a problem with it, but it's like definitely like water and a bunch of thickeners and then chocolate flavor or whatever.
When you were a kid,
I'd love it.
Did you ever take, like if your mom baked a cake or something and you had extra frosting, you put that on graham crackers?
Yes.
Yep. Yeah. That's how I got diabetes.
If you know the history of graham crackers, it sounds like chocolate covered sadness. What is it like? Poor people food from somewhere?
I've never looked up the history of graham
Is
crackers.
it like cornflakes? Is it like that bad?
Cornflakes is kind of a bad history. But I think graham crackers are way older, aren't they?
That guy would roll over in his grave seeing frosted cornflakes.
Well, he was kind of nutty.
He couldn't do that.
Yeah, he was.
His brother owned it by the time he was still alive or whatever.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Bland food. Enjoying your food is a sin. Fuck.
Did you see the movie Road to Wellness?
I did not.
Anthony Hopkins. He plays Kellogg.
No shit.
I think Dana Carvey plays his brother.
Is it a comedy?
It is.
Oh, okay. Wait, I might have seen it then.
DJ's had enough.
You weren't talking about music enough.
He's pro-temperance. He couldn't stand this talk.
He doesn't like all these flavorful foods that you're talking about.
Probably picking up chicks. He's back. Turned out to be a dude.
What's with the Winnie the Pooh thing? Did you see that new Winnie the Pooh?
No.
The horror one?
You know there's a new Winnie the Pooh. Yeah, it's super bad. It's not good.
Oh, is that the English one where it's supposed to be Christopher Robin? Like, I think I have seen bits of that. That was pretty silly.
He comes back and he's like, hey, I know where Winnie the Pooh lives or whatever. I'm going to go hang out with him. I abandoned him 7 years ago, but everything's going to be fine. and then he gets killed by him.
I got your email, Bjorn. I'll pull it up here in just a second.
That's what she said.
Ooh.
The banner actually worked.
Oh yeah, at the bottom there's a banner. Scroll in there. If you want to send in comments, suggestions,
Viruses,
pictures of within reason.
feet.
That's a couple ways you could do that. What was I doing? Oh yeah, I was looking at emails. Whoops, that's not what I want. I need to go there, and there we go. And do that. We're almost there. Now I can show what
This show is coming to you from a Tandy 1000.
Okay, I did.
Just got to put the cassette in and rewind it.
All right, I got to do this different. Hold on.
Be kind, rewind.
There we go. All right. So he made a couple metal roses.
Oh, cool.
I know.
Can or what?
Didn't say. But I know Bjorn makes jewelry too, and knives, so it's pretty handy. Let me show the other picture of that.
Made out of silver, he says.
Oh, really?
Oh, nice. I can't really tell from the picture. If you want, you can send me a couple of them, and then I can see them back.
I worked for a jeweler for one day.
I once gave a girlfriend a rose that was dipped in gold. Gave it to her the day I broke up with her. Told
Was
her
that the plan, or it just happened
no,
that way?
That's just the way it worked out. Said, well, we may not last, but this rose will. So here you go.
Was it like thousands of dollars?
I forget what it was. I think Art Bell. It wasn't thousands. It was maybe like $50, so it was probably a thin coating. But Art Bell was promoting them. Looked pretty cool.
Good idea. The rose just dries inside of it, I suppose.
I don't know. He broke one open and said there really is a rose inside of it. That was, I don't know, would have been early-ish 2000s. Before I met my wife. I'm just trying to see if I can find a picture of it. Yeah, so it looked kind of like this. Sorry. Oop. See if I can. There we go.
That's pretty cool.
From what I recall, it kind of looked like that.
How heavy was it?
I don't even remember.
I wonder if it's like a, when they do like, is it just called dipping? When they, they put like a layer of color of, film, and then they dip like a helmet or a motorcycle gas tank or a gun or something.
Hydro dipping.
Hydro dipping. wonder if it's like hydro dip. They put like gold foil. You know how gold foil is like just a couple of microns of gold or whatever.
Yeah.
And then dip it in there. That would be thin.
Yeah, it couldn't have been a very thick layer because
it would cost forever and it would weigh a lot, right? And it would fall
because
over.
I'm pretty sure it was maybe like $50.
I bet you they hydro dip it because that would be pretty quick. You know, there might be some process, but I'll bet you it's some sort of a, just a gold foil essentially.
I don't remember how
They
much
could have
gold
dipped it in something else and then plated the gold onto the thing they dipped it in.
That's what I was thinking too, like into something that's just tacky and then blow gold dust at it or something until it's covered.
Bjorn is saying it could have been electroplated. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Coated in something that would take the gold. Like, isn't lead really close? Can you plate lead and gold?
I don't think so.
Well, that's what
gold-plated lead.
Isn't it like one electron away or something?
That's what the alchemists tried to do, was turn lead into gold.
And instead they just turned fumes into brain damage?
Yeah. Yeah, so gold 2002 2004 was between $300 to $400 an ounce. So yeah, it had to be a pretty thin layer. Probably was electroplated. Because it was more than just like brushed on foil.
You can do like a static electricity type of thing too, where you have it charged and then the gold is the other way, the other charge, right? And then they attract each other and create a layer.
Yeah, powder coating?
Maybe, yeah.
What?
Yeah. When you heat it?
Like they do for glasses, when the way they coat glasses. Put them in a chamber and kind of like atomizing the chemicals. So whatever's in the chamber, the chemicals stick to it. That's how they put coatings on glass lenses.
Anyone buy anything new lately? I saw G-Web's got some new patches. Wasn't it like a PKM and what was the other one?
Yeah, so M13 is a builder in Vegas that I'm a big fan of. They do a bunch of guns for, like Battlefield Vegas and the machine gun rental places. So they get all kinds of cool guns and they get lots of experience and they're just getting really good at making good looking guns, full autos. And they did a run of PPSH ones that I guess I missed. And then they just released the PKMs, which is pretty much my favorite of AKs. And they were like $5. So, yeah, I bought a couple of 3 of the one and 2 of the others and then put them up on the Free Patch Friday panels. Did I mention everybody in here about the welcome mats from Dollar Tree?
I saw we were talking about them earlier today.
Yeah, I can't get enough of them. I bought another 10 of them. I'm putting all my patches on them now. It's like my favorite way to have my patches so I can see them and have them and get to them. And I mean, essentially, it's like a giant book or something.
The first patch panel I made, I just took a rug, put it in a frame, but it weighs a ton.
Exactly.
It's a real rug.
This is $1.25, so you can imagine it's not a lot of material, and it's the size of a welcome mat, so it's kind of in a weird shape and it's large, but it's it's kind of like felt that someone took and shoved in a waffle maker. So it has a felt kind of thickness, but where you squish it, it gets a little bit more rigid. So it's got like an inherent stiffness or rigidness from the way the material is created, and then because it's in those ridges, it only sticks to like half the Velcro, so it's real easy to reapply them and to kind of move them around. Because they're saying you went to the Dollar Tree again and they still didn't have them. That sucks, dude. Because I went to a third one because I keep buying them out. I keep buying like stack of them and I keep going to the different ones, and I found them at 3 of them now.
Oh,
they had me funny? No, they didn't even care. They're like, you're buying 11 of these. I'm like, yep. And I'm like, okay.
Did Gary check their front door? See if they had one laying outside.
But I did go to the one I went to today because I went to 3 so far and bought 10 of them at each of them. I just didn't want to buy every one they had, but whatever. So the one today had a whole pile of them, like in an aisle that would be like their gardening stuff. Normally, they're not in that aisle. Normally, they're in the aisle where, at least in my stores, they're in the aisle where the paper plates are. And yeah, exactly. But once you see, when you get a stack of them, how you can have your whole collection in a very like easy to access and interesting way, I think they're pretty much ideal for $1.25.
Oh, you're creating an artificial demand. You're going to drive up the price.
A real demand. A real demand. No, but I was using carpet before that. And just like you said, the carpet itself has some weight and it gets heavy and it's a little thicker. So, you get a bunch of them and it gets thicker. Now, I really like how you can cut the carpet to exactly the shape you want, and it's made in the USA and it's decent material. But then the other real problem is that it's super strong Velcro. So when you stick a patch to it, like you really got to pull that patch off to get it off the carpet. So it doesn't really lend itself to moving things around. So as much as I like the carpet, that is its biggest drawback, is that it's really sticking those patches on there. If you're putting them there permanently, who cares? But if you're moving them around at all like I do, it gets just abusive to the patches.
So, DJ, what kind of carpet do you like? Do you like low pile or do you like high pile?
Level loop. I don't know. Berber. I don't know where to go with this one, man.
Wall to wall.
Ooh, yeah. As long as it matches the drapes, right?
Yeah. Oh, wow. Well, let me throw this out there. Copy, paste. So G23 has been going through some health stuff, and he's racked up quite a lot of medical bills. So he's doing a Give, Send, Go, which is kind of like a GoFundMe, to try and raise money for basically gas money, because he's got to go into the hospital 3 times a week to have the packing on his wound changed. So he's if you got a couple bucks, you can maybe throw his way. There's a link for his community tab, and you can read a little bit more about it. Were you saying something, G-Webs?
No, thanks for throwing the link out there.
Oh. Yeah. I don't know what else you guys want to talk about.
I'm building an AK.
Are you now?
I am. Kyber Pass AK-47 side folder with a triangle folding stock.
Wow.
What was the reason for that one, or the impetus for that one?
They're about to ban it, so I want it. That's how. They try to ban shit and they end up selling more of it. I wouldn't have bought an AK if they weren't doing this.
You talking about the state or Dianne Feinstein?
The state.
Yeah, there's an assault weapons ban that's rumbling around.
Is this a ballot initiative or something else? Like
it's done by the House.
Yeah, it's a House bill.
And it goes into effect immediately upon signing. So it's like the Illinois one. It could 3 days from now it could be passed, and you can't buy anything.
Which eventually will get struck down if it were to pass. I don't think it'll pass, but.
So what do you think the deal is? They want to be famous as like anti-rights tyrants, or, you know, obviously they think it's for the good or whatever. They want to become famous from it, or are they like, is this some kind of strategy where like, oh, it's getting shot down in all these other states, but we're going to be the one that sends it through, just like how Michael Cargill got the bump stock case through, where they're like, we got to have as many attempts as possible. One of them will get through. Or is it like, this is, you know, we really, really think this is going to work, and this is, you know, this is our attempt to really save lives and stuff? Like, where do you think, or something else? Like, where are they coming from?
I have a theory. I think they are trying to put FFLs out of business in the state. And two, I think they're trying to push whatever is left of the conservatives to move out of the state. And then they just have a solid blue state for the rest of eternity. Because everyone that doesn't like them left.
I think it's a lot of...
and they know they're going to lose.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of anti-gun... kind of somewhere between panic and tantrum. So, because these are bills, these anti-gun bills have been kicking around for years, and they come up. But there's once the New York rifle and pistol the NYSERPA ruling, then it was kind of a panic where they just started throwing every anti-gun thing they could. I think knowing that they'll get struck down, but just trying to, whether it's to make themselves look good, you know, say, well, we tried, or it's a tantrum where it's, well, we're going to do this anyways. It's probably a mix of all of it, but it's not new. It's just there's more fervor now. It's ramped up, it seems. And it might just be I'm paying more attention now. I don't know.
So do you think it's more people, or the people who are the ones saying it are louder?
I think it's the people saying it are louder, and the people behind it are pushing harder. So I don't think all of the politicians that are pushing it really believe in it. It's just the people pushing them are pushing it. Yeah.
So marching orders. So how big, if in a scale of like how many percentages of this is out of state pressure and manipulation and strategy versus how much of this is like Washington based, like we're going to show the rest of the world how to do this?
I think there is, like Woods was saying, Inslee and Bob Ferguson. Inslee is the governor and Bob Ferguson is the AG for Washington.
But I mean, is it like 70% them and then 30% of people from outside egging them on, or is it 70% of people from outside and they're the 30% pawns from the state, or is it something?
They're at least 50. I would say, at least 50-50. I don't know exactly.
What do you think, Aaron?
I think it's the political climate of Washington State. I mean, even when these things go up as initiatives, they pass.
So you think it's
voted by the people,
ripe for it, and they're just taking it because it's on the table?
Yeah, because they can do it. and the people that voted them in want them to.
And it's not so much
they ran on gun control
strategy or this or that. It's like take it all, take as much as you can, take, because that's what we want you to do.
I mean, there's only so much gun control you can do. We're kind of like out of things they can do more besides just banning assault weapons. Like, am I wrong, Foss? What else could they do?
Charge you for ammo. You can just buy any ammo you want right now. That's not
ammo license.
That's not good.
Actually, they might be trying to do that.
I think they should charge you for your powders that you have in there too. I've heard those powders are dangerous. They light on fire and stuff.
But what kind of clued me in to they're trying to put FFLs out of business. The way they wrote this bill originally before it got amended, you would not be able to sell the guns that you had at your gun shop out of state. So once this passed, as soon as he signed it, all the guns you had in your inventory that were assault weapons, quote unquote, which would be basically anything semi-automatic, you'd have to turn them into the cops or destroy them. I can't even imagine how much money that would be. They killed the chat.
Oh, yeah.
Debbie Downer.
I mean, they'd try it, but it would be the same thing as Illinois, right? They'd get an injunction or whatever it's called.
I guess it did. I don't know if they did that in Illinois, though. The whole, you can't even sell them out of state.
Well, no, I mean, it would be worse than Illinois, but I mean, it would be handled the way that they handled it in Illinois.
Hopefully.
So Roy Munson was asking, how do you build an AK at home?
Legally or illegally? Because there's more than one way to do things. Legally, you don't live in Washington State. You can buy a built receiver or a flat and then bend it yourself, and you're going to need a shop press. Yeah. And you're going to have to press in the rivets. There's videos on YouTube about it for the moment.
There's more than one way to do it at this point, but there's tools. You can make your tools, you can build your tools, but you can, what you just said, yes, but and also like there's lots of different ways at this point to get into it. You can buy a receiver that's good to go and assemble it. You can buy populated stuff, so there's lots and lots of levels to it, but it's definitely way more of a hobby, way more of a challenge, way more of a gunsmithing event than anything else, because there's rivets involved and pressed metal instead of milled metal that you're a lot of times, like especially with the 80% ARs that people are familiar with, you're getting something that's already been milled and essentially all specced out and everything to interface with all the other parts, and all you're doing is removing some holes, or drilling some holes or whatever in the right place, and you've got fixtures to make sure that you do it in the right place. When you're doing an AK, you've got a heck of a lot more, like you just got, what the end result's supposed to look like, but that don't help you with when you're trying to do what you just said, bend a flat or something. That's a lot of effort and trial and error. You're going to break a lot of stuff. But as far as the presses and stuff, there's screws also. There's tooling and part kits, fixtures that will, you can essentially like vices. Think of using a vise instead of a press. A press is usually longer span and has like room for error. When you use something like a long vise, like a long threaded rod with a vise type of end on it, now you can like more precisely like squish the pieces together, and you can do that with all the rivets and everything too now. So there's some really slow and really precise ways to build them. Bending, you can even do some of that with smaller home stuff, but it's you can't. There's rules about lending and borrowing the tooling, so often it's like buy all that tooling to do one gun is just not practical. So back in the day when you could get a lot of parts kits, it was possible to buy all that stuff.
Uncle Jim said, it'll be fine. You live in a good state. He used to live in this state, and he moved out. Well, it's an AK. Can't you just use a rock?
Well, that's the thing. There are people that do improvise stuff. And when you say Kyber, I mean, that
exactly.
sort of implies, somebody who's sitting there with usually like a piece of railroad tie, or not tie, but a piece of railroad rail that they're using as an anvil or, something. And then literally like oversized casting it and then filing it down and then heat treating the surface of it and then making a new part and making it look like the real deal. How often making it look like the copy that they're copying off of. Right? But yeah, technically, Kyber one you could get to all that level.
Here's a post. This is Rougarou's channel. Not sure where his video. He's shown building an AK, some of the parts. So you can go check out his channel, poke around, see if you can find it. But he uses a press for the rivets.
You can definitely use a press for all the stuff. My friend used we learned on a press, and my friend, I can't remember, but it was something like 5 barrels that he broke or bent. I suppose you bow the barrels when you're putting them in wrong in a press. So you can block up your receiver in like 3 or 4 different ways in the bottom of your press, right? And then you open the press all up, and then you're getting your barrel all lined up, and you press it in there. I know that I've almost bowed a barrel. Like I've definitely seen how you can tweak it to not go down into there, and it'll start to, the pressure will start to push on the barrel weird. But my friend bowed the first one, and we're all like, you bowed your barrel. And now he's got to use some other barrel instead of the one that came out of the gun. But back in those days, the parts kits were really cheap, so he had other barrels there, and he used a second one, bent it, and then we're like, we broke 2 barrels, and then by the third one, we quit laughing because we're like, oh man, this costed money.
I misread Uncle Jim's comment at first. He said, my wife's a cougar and has that hat. Oh, she's a coug and has this hat.
I misread that also. Yeah, building an AR is way easier. Big time.
Yeah. And you can do a lot more.
Mm-hmm. You can change your barrel without bending it.
Yeah, take it back out again. That's it.
Yeah, there's so many options for AR-15s. If you want to make it a different color, you want slightly different grip, you want a different stock, you want a different, it's just need, like you were saying, the armor's wrench or a screwdriver, maybe an Allen wrench, punch. You can do it all by hand.
Have a roll of tape to set things on and poke through and stuff. It's handy.
Plus, the cool thing on an 8K, you want to change your caliber or anything, the barrel is a piece of the actual firearm legally, right? On an AR, you can just swap your upper.
You got to really do some work to pull the barrel out of an AK.
Yeah.
And it can be taken out and replaced, but then again, you got to really do some work. A lot of pins. It's just older tech. It's 1930s essentially tech that was refined through the early 40s, and then existed. So they weren't going to change it too much. If it already works, don't mess with it. So then you get stuff that was invented. Well, I guess AR was invented in the 50s just by a different mindset. Airplanes and aluminum. You weren't gonna. What's that called? What's that called when you tight fit? You're not gonna just fit aluminum and metal together. You're gonna screw that together. You're gonna use threads. You're gonna use nuts and bolts.
Friction or press fit? Is that what you're going for?
Oh yeah, press fit. Please.
Yeah, so I'll post probably in Gilded once I finish it up. Probably by the end of the month. I don't know. We'll see how things go.
When's the
It's
next
the one
bracket?
danger when you get into AKs.
This is my voice. One day in Soviet Russia. This is my voice. 4 days in Soviet Russia. This is my voice. 3 weeks in Soviet. This is my voice. One day in Soviet Russia.
Hang on. I don't know why it's all goofy.
This is my voice. One day in
Try smacking the side of the computer.
It doesn't.
He probably has the floppy disk upside down. Try flipping the floppy.
He is using a Tandy 2000.
Doesn't want us to see that for some reason. Yeah. When I go to share it, it screws up. Maybe it's some copyright deal. I don't know.
Watch them give you a strike anyway.
When's the next bracket on the show?
First of never.
Baron has gone anti-bracket.
I've gone anti effort. I'm taking it easy these days.
Uncle Jim said he wants to build a 300 blackout AK.
For easy
Oh,
reloading.
he wants not build one. He wants one.
That makes sense. They're basically the same ballistically.
I could see having our alt caliber AKs so that you could shoot them without having to be worried about Russian imports and that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. PSA is supposed to be making steel case 7.62 by 39, but we will see.
They're also going to make 545, and they're making they had some neat stuff at shot, like some AK stuff. I didn't really pay attention, so I don't know if it's all new. It's the first time I've seen it, but it was all decent. Pretty cool.
Well, they bought the ammo company, didn't they? It was them that did, right? So they're gonna make something.
They got ammo there, or they had ammo there. I just didn't retain it all when they were telling me about.
Did you see their Battlefield line when you were there?
What does that mean?
They have like a
Ammo?
STG 44 reproduction. They're going to be selling
I've
through
seen
PSA.
Yeah, I seen it on the wall, not at the shoot. But I'm saying at the shoot, I went over there. Normally, I don't shoot stuff, but this year I was like, I haven't shot stuff in forever. I'm going to shoot stuff this year. So I went out and shot a bunch of different things, and one of them was that spiked underfolder, or a spiked underfolding spike that they make. Which,
How'd they do on it?
Century Chinese. It's fucking awesome. It's really, really, really cool. And they're super proud of it, and they're super into it. You know, it's not like they accidentally just made a cool thing. They made it intentionally to be cool, and they did a good job of it. And, you know, I mean, they're definitely enthusiastic about it. They're not just like, oh yeah, we could make these, so we made it this way to save money or to make a thing that'll sell. They were more like, yeah, we wanted to make this cool, and it is. It's got
That's
Chinese
awesome.
selector markings on it, and it's. I mean, they made the spike bayonet. They didn't have to make any of that. Like, that's a total waste of time. Like, it's a complete waste of time that they went ahead and made an underfolder spike bayonet on it in all made in USA. Or actually, I think he said it's made in, or no, the wood is made in France or something.
I know the STG 44 is going to be in 300 Blackout.
Yeah, the STG was, it's hard to say. Everyone I've seen in real life they're heavy, but they're shot the shit out of, right? Like the Germans shot them a lot, and they are all beat up and used and stuff, and they got some German died on top of it or whatever. So, they're all in some state of being old. So this thing was like brand new. It felt like, to me, it felt like, one of them, is it GSG that makes the 22 versions of H&Ks?
Yeah.
Yes.
it's kind of, I mean, not as anywhere near as light, and it wasn't made out of aluminum or nothing. But you know how those things look like not real, but like a brand new HK, right? They just look all nice and clean, and all the parts fit together and everything. I mean, they don't feel right because they're made out of aluminum and plastic, but you know, and they're the wrong caliber and everything. But that kind of like impressive fit and feel and finish is on it, so it feels like, wow, this is a really nice, well-made thing. But the big but is I got nothing to compare it to. I got it to compare it. It's, you know, it'd be like if somebody showed you a brand new M3 grease gun. It's like, here you go. Like, here's our new semi-auto version of a grease gun. You'd be like, nice, but I've never seen an original real grease gun. All I've ever seen is beat the shit out of old ones, you know? I don't know what a real one's supposed to even look like, so this might look right or not. And that's sort of what I got. Like, this is a nice looking gun, but is it authentic? I don't know. How the hell would anybody know? Like, there's never, I don't think there are new ones anywhere for you to compare to. So that's my impression of it. Is it was a nice looking gun, but it's sort of like picking up a brand new HK in the respect that, you know, you can tell there's a lot of parts in there. You can tell it's got a lot of stuff going on and it's all put together well, but that doesn't mean it's going to shoot good or whatever. I don't know if people buy it to shoot good, and I don't know if people are going to be like, oh, this is, you know, if you're going for authentic and you miss the mark, that's different than going like, you know, we're not going for authentic, we're just going for the general appearance, because then nobody can fault you. But I don't know where they're going. I don't know what the marketing says. Like, if they're going for complete accuracy, or if they're just like, hey, here's an option, you know, that's like you say, 300 blackout. So we're not trying to go 100%.
Uncle Jim said PSA really stepped it up on their new AK barrels, and the 9mm is awesome.
Yeah, they're doing FN Cold Hammer Forge chrome lined barrels for their AKs.
You think people are going to buy that STG to shoot it, or just put it on the wall and say, I got an STG that's real?
Depending on the caliber, they're going to shoot it. It's like if somebody buys it in 300 blackout, they're probably buying it to shoot. If they're buying in like, what is it, 8mm Kurtz? What's the original? They're probably not shooting that.
7.62,
8mm
or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also coming out in 7.62 by 39. That'd be pretty cool.
I think it's like $2,000 or something.
Yeah,
I just
Uncle
bought
Jim.
a HK clone. They
How
are
much was
expensive.
How expensive?
I'm gonna say it was $1,200. That's
Ooh.
my official answer. It was a G3 clone by PTR.
While I'm thinking about it, how about this? So you're doing an Indiegogo there, G-Webs?
Yep, thanks for that cool intro. I put that on the campaign itself. Yeah, trying to get that robot off Owl and Anchor. So if you know somebody that's interested in seeing what we can do with that machine, you've seen what we did in the past with the little machine. Imagine what we can do with a 15 color machine. Consider jumping on board, and please share it around. That's how that stuff works. You know, you never know who's going to be interested in seeing that project come through. So sharing it around gets the word out. And thanks again for that video. It's super awesome.
Oh, no problem. I didn't spend a lot of time on it. Just, you know.
Well, that was one of those things where I put the thing together and I'm like, I need to get this thing going. I've been kind of wanting to do it for a while, but then they're selling it. So they have another buyer, so they were willing to let me try. So I was like, I need to get this campaign going. So I got it going, but I'm juggling some other things, and I was like, I need to get a video for that, but I need to get a video for that tonight, but I got tired, went to bed. I need to get that tonight, but and it just kept getting put off. So yeah, I really, really appreciate it because it's better to have a video on there for sure.
Roy was asking, is 15 colors even legal in California?
No, they have to keep 3 colors in there, and the rest of them have to be blocked. So then they have to have the needles blunted. The needles can't be longer than a finger.
Does the joystick have a fin?
It's a featureless sewing machine.
Yep.
So apparently, FN's not making the AK barrels. They're making them in-house now. That's good. The less people they have to rely on to get shit out the door, the better. Learned that after COVID.
Oh, I was thinking the other day when when YouTube was giving channel strikes for misinformation, dealing with the cough. I realized the whole time they were still running commercials for all the quack medicine that you see, the stupid commercials you see. Oh, this secret Chinese technique will shrink your prostate kind of commercials.
Drink this one item before bed to lose 20 pounds in your sleep.
Yeah. And so I guess if you're paying them, it's not misinformation.
They're not lying. I drank that shit. I lost a leg.
From the diabetes.
Yeah.
So what else is going on?
Speaking of PSA, H&R is really kicking stuff out at the door. I mean, they have like 2 full pages of products going right now, and they're selling them through PSA. They got a bunch of retro AR stuff. Full uppers, whole guns, stripped uppers, parts for them. They got everything, basically. The only problem is getting it while it's in stock, because this shit's flying off the shelf.
That's there's a lot of PSA stuff that seems like as soon as it's released, it's out of stock.
Yep, like remember the dagger?
Yeah.
That's all I got.
I don't have anything. I'm out of stuff. Short show today.
I don't want to be the first one to fade out, but I'm literally battling, keeping my eyes open. I feel like I missed parts of the show already.
Oh, that's all right. Well, plug something before you go.
Well, thanks again for plugging the project over there, but since nobody else is going to mention it, and I'm assuming no one else is going to mention it tonight, there's a lady that puts some effort out every weekend for suicide awareness, suicide prevention awareness, and mental health awareness, and that is called a Great Start Shooting School. She does a conversation every Saturday afternoon called Suicide Prevention Saturday. Thanks to Baron for putting some links out there for that. And yeah, that's what I'm going to recommend. It's a valiant effort. They're always coming after gun owners after an individual does something. And most of the numbers they use, 2 out of every 3 deaths are from suicide. So Brooke does a great effort at bringing awareness to that and empowering people with the ability to have better conversations, create better awareness of that whole situation. Thanks for the chat.
Oh, thanks for jumping in. DJ, you still out there?
Yodel.
Anything you want to plug?
Yeah, Tuesdays and Thursdays in the evening and Wednesday afternoons on the Guns and Barbecue channel. There's a discussion about, well, God knows what. Come for 2A, come for music, come for a whole bunch of shenanigans. You just never know what you're going to get. A great start shooting school. Thanks to G for plugging that and Baron for dropping the link. Also, maybe check out the Costly Conversations podcast channel. I like that guy. Maybe you will too. So I see everybody again. Be safe, have fun, carry your guns. Raw.
Mario Mosen is tardy. He's here for the end. This is the end, my friend. Baron, anything you want to plug?
Take care of your health. See you next week. That's all I got.
All right. Well, I appreciate everybody that's been out there in the live chat that were saying something. And if you were watching and didn't say anything, I appreciate you too. If you watch this in replay, leave a comment. Let me know anything we talked about. Agree with, disagree with, think we got wrong, think we're stupid. Let me know. I always read the comments, and they're always appreciated. This weekend is an off weekend, right?
Yep.
So no overnight this weekend, but there should be a mouse party next week.
Yep. We'll see you next Wednesday/Thursday morning.
I'm always forgetting something, but guess it probably wasn't that important. So everybody have a good rest of the night.